This is We Are Grant County, and we're so glad you're joining us. We'd love for you to be a part of the conversation. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes, and nominate future guests at toadtalkmedia.com.
We Are Grant County, a Toad Talk Media production, where we celebrate community, one voice at a time. We're your hosts, Michelle Neidigh and Katie Jimenez, and today we're diving into the story of one of Williamstown's unique destinations, Patriots Landing. Our guest, Joe Montgomery, is here to share how this special place came to be, what visitors can experience, and how it's connecting with the heart of our community. So let's jump in and get to know the people and passion behind Patriots Landing. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning. I'm confused as to who I say hi to first. Michelle.
We're a collective.
Probably, yeah.
Good morning, Michelle and Katie.
Good morning.
Joe.
So how did you get involved in Patriots Landing?
Well, it goes back a long way for me. My dad was a proud Marine. He served from 1956 to 59. I have 9 uncles, and all of them served in the military throughout, literally from World War II all the way up through Vietnam. So my dad's oldest brother, my Uncle Jimmy, was a grunt in the Army in World War II. And my dad, of course, as I just said, served 56, 59, and all the brothers filled in spots in between. And my dad's youngest brother, my Uncle Bobby, was a Marine in Vietnam. So just on my dad's side, I had uncles serve from World War II all the way through Vietnam. So I ended up taking the college route. And when I turned about 40, which was a long time ago, Katie.
Yeah, I'm not counting.
Okay. It was a long time ago. I think, if I recall, my dad had some issues with his heart. He needed a stent or something. My dad never smoked, never drank, never cussed. That he had some heart issues. And I think I was thinking on that. And I had an events company at the time. And we were literally going around doing cornhole activations for large companies like Scott's Miracle-Gro, Ford Motor Company, Nationwide Insurance. And we were at Bristol Motor Speedway. And we had just put in a long day, and I was talking about my dad, and I basically said, I want to do something for my dad, my uncles, veterans in general, just something to give back since I didn't serve. And one of my buddies said, well, what about tailgating for troops? And I just loved that. I mean, I loved the way it sounded. I'd never heard anything like that before. Didn't know what it meant. Didn't know what tailgating for troops was going to do. But very quickly, sitting around the fire and a few Pepsis, we determined that what we wanted to do was raise about $800. And we were able to use that money to buy Baltic birch and stainless steel hardware and create 2 sets of really, really nice cornhole boards, like the ones here in our showroom where we are here. Yeah. And then 2 sets of custom bags for wherever we ended up sending these boards. So the first 2 sets that we had our veterans assemble went to a base in South Korea. And then it kind of caught fire, and people found out about it, and we started sending to bases all over the world. We got them on aircraft carriers. And that was Joe's hobby, to give back to his dad, his uncles, and veterans.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then fast forward to about 2014. I have a farm just south of our facility here, and I got a call from a buddy who was a Marine that said that Sarge had passed away. And my first question was, well, who's Sarge? I didn't know the man. Well, it turns out Sarge was a veteran from Vietnam, and he was indigent. So no family, no home. He was homeless. He says, we're going to get some folks together and come down and pay the respects that Sarge deserves as a veteran. I said, I love the idea. It's great. when is it? What day is it? He says, well, it's at 10:30 this morning. This was probably 9:00 in the morning. I was in Northern Kentucky. And so I believe that's when God started saying, hey, buddy, there's something in your heart you're not quite aware of. You've kind of started it with the tailgating for troops, but I'm going to show you the way. I legit believe that. And so I got in my truck and I came down, and there were about 6 of us there. It's a very, very powerful thing when a flag is removed from a coffin and folded and handed to the family. Well, in this particular instance, there was nobody to hand it to. So I decided to follow that flag into the office. I was curious as to what they did with it. And what they did with it is they ran up to Michael's and grabbed a burial flag case, and they printed a label out with the man's name, rank, years, all that. And they put it in this box and put the label on it in case a family member ever showed up. Well, in the 5 years that this Kentucky Veteran Cemetery North was open, I remember very distinctly they had buried 16 men. They're all men at that time, mostly World War II. 16 in 5 years with no family. So these cases sitting around this room.
Right.
And
no home to go to.
No. And it still raises the hair on my arms. It's sad. It's I don't know. But I was amazed. This is one of 5 state cemeteries in Kentucky. And in this one right here in 5 years, there were 16 people that literally had no family there when they were buried.
Yeah, our guests may not know exactly where we are, but your facility here is basically right across the road from the Veteran Cemetery.
Northern
Kentucky.
It's Kentucky. It's Kentucky Veteran Cemetery North. Yes. So there's north, east, south, central. We're not quite in Northern Kentucky, but how ironic is that? Right. As we get into it,
literally, basically right across the street. So it's almost,
we're staring at it.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to make sure, such a nice connection, make sure our viewers were aware of where we actually are and that connection that you have with this location. It's just,
you'll kick me if I get to repeating myself, but legit, this was God's plan to have us here. I mean, we're staring right now. We're all looking out the window over at the cemetery that I'm speaking of. And so these cases were in this room, and he showed them to me. And that's when I realized, I believe there was one sitting on the floor. And I think that's why I was like, well, I'm going to pick that up and I'll put it on something. I don't know. They were moving stuff around. I had some on a shelf, but either way, I noticed the labels and I started reading them, and I was reading the name and Army, or, from 1930 something to whatever. And because it had come from Michael's, unfortunately, right below it, it had a big sticker that said made in China. And, given the history of my family and their service, as I just shared with you all, it didn't sit well with me that we just took a flag off of a coffin, in particular with that generation who probably fought or might have been in the Pacific region. I had a little taste of that from Uncle Jim from World War II. His opinions were pretty strong about the folks that he was squared up against in World War II. And it just didn't sit well. And I thought, well, you have options in life, right? You find something that is upsetting to you or is not the way you think it should be. You can deal with it, live with it, or you can try to change it, or you can try to, do whatever you can. And that decision was made that day that, heck, we're making cornhole boards. We're a wood shop. Wink, wink. We could make burial flag cases. So we started to try to figure that out. Is a little more complex than expected with the angles and the biscuit joining and all the stuff that I had never done as a woodworker. And we figured out how to make them. And we made 16, and we went over and we respectfully removed the flags of these men from the made in China cases and put them in ours, signed by the veteran that makes it. And then that there was really that was kind of the long-winded way to get to what got me involved. Well, that took me from cornhole boards to burial flag cases, and that was just a different world. And that's when the brain started really.
It seemed like each step led you closer to where you are now.
Nailed it. I mean, this has been 17 years in a series of baby steps. I'll give you an analogy. My good friend Cody Van Boxel, he's the executive director at the DAV. He was the head of HR at the time. They're huge supporters of us, a wonderful organization. He's looked me in the eye and told me, Joe, I've been involved with veteran service organizations for years and years and years. And they're they're 100 years old veteran service organization. And he says, I've never seen one person take something from an idea, cornhole boards and this and that, and really see it through as an all volunteer organization for over 15 years and create something like we have here. So we're very, very, very proud, but you nailed it, Katie. It was baby step, baby step, baby step, baby. It's still baby steps. It really is.
So where did the name Patriots Landing come from?
So when we got into flag cases, I immediately thought, okay, we were signing the back of our boards. That meant a lot to our veterans to be able to sign something that was either going to people they served with. It was a very powerful feeling. So signing the back of a burial flag case that's holding a flag of a veteran for eternity is a different level kind of healing, if you will, that was happening. And what I did was I thought, well, okay, I need to find out a little bit more about burial flag cases. And I called Arlington National Cemetery thinking they were the biggest and they would be able to answer all my questions in one call and ask them about the cases they carried and how they got them and how they made it to the families, et cetera, et cetera. Well, her answer was very short and simple. Sir, we don't carry burial flag cases at Arlington. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I didn't understand that because I knew nothing about the world. But I said, let me tell you what we're doing and maybe you can point me in the right direction. So I did. Told her what I just shared with you guys. And she literally put me on hold and came back in about 2 minutes. She was gone for a minute. And said, Mr. Montgomery, I talked to our supervisor. We absolutely love what you're doing. We would like to start carrying your burial flag cases at Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I said. I said, oh, my goodness. I hung up the phone and called my dad.
Yeah. Immediately.
And said, Dad, you ever been to Arlington? No, sir. No, I've never been. I said, well, pack your bag. And so I was able to take my dad up and take the first 4 cases to Arlington. But that got me thinking that we had maybe something special here. So I looked into becoming a 501c3 charity, thinking we could grow this. And I did. And we became a 501c3 in February of 2015. So well over 10 years now. But the name of our charity, because of the flag case and everything, is Operation Honor. Okay, so honoring our veterans, honoring those who have passed. When we went to look to build this facility that we're in right now, our board felt that Operation Honor didn't kind of speak to the mission, the messaging really. And I had been to Patriots Point, which is in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a beautiful, there's I just think too fast. There's a aircraft carrier that we were on. We actually, not the Cunningham. Anyway, there's a destroyer there. There's an aircraft carrier. We were doing tailgating for troops. We were doing different tournaments to raise money. I literally threw a tailgating for troops national championship on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier.
Wow.
There. So cool. The name will hit me here in a second. It's not relevant, I guess, but
it'll pop in later.
It will. So I had been to Patriots Point. We ran a cornhole tournament on an aircraft carrier there. And I really like that. I like the idea of the Patriots and all that. And so we took that and just came up with Patriots Landing. The initial design of the building was more like an airplane hangar type thing we thought we might do. So again, what I always reference is like the new DAV built their facility in Northern Kentucky. Well, they had plans, books. Hey, this room is going to be this size, page 39. It's going to be painted this. It's going to be that tall, and it's going to have those lights in it. We stood around and went, I don't know. Should we paint it? What color? So, I mean, legit, you pinpointed how this whole thing over 17 years is just And Michelle, you've been in here a number of times. Just about every time you come in, you're like, well, that's new.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is.
Yep.
So the name came about from Operation Honor being our 501c3 public charity, to me having been at Patriots Point, to coming up with Patriots Landing, and we like it. It's
I mean, it's pretty significant, like the term landing. It's a nice place where you all can land.
How about that?
It's inviting.
How about
It's
that?
inviting. There you go.
Well, we are growing month by month, if not week by week, literally with the people that are engaging with us. So, yeah, people are landing.
So speaking about people landing and people visiting, the guest experience. So what activities or what can guests do when they visit?
That's a great question, Michelle, because again, I had a vision probably more in my head than on paper. It had been discussed a million times probably, but what my vision for people visiting here, and I'll boil it down to you. You travel, you go around, you go to small towns. We're a small town. And most people like to eat, like they travel, they don't want to go Cracker Barrel because you got a Cracker Barrel. You go to Billy Bob's Ham and Eggs and check out the local Billy Bob Ham and Egg. You also go into little different shops or whatever where you leave going, oh my gosh, nicest people. What a great little place. What a little diamond in the rough. I said from day one, when people arrive, we want them to feel welcomed, loved, appreciated, understand our mission, our patriotism, the whole 9 yards. And if you go on Google and read our reviews over the last year and a half, 2 years, you'll see the passion. I hear it all the time. We're so happy we came here. We're so grateful for what you guys are doing and for the veterans. And obviously sitting here in our showroom, you can see there's a little bit of patriotism going on around here. I mean, red and white and blue are pretty prevalent.
I would say the first thing I said when I walked in the building was like, that's a lot of flags. But it shows all the artwork, and I believe we'll talk more about that, but all veteran made, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, as far as the guest experience, I had to put it on a flyer. Hey, tour bus company. Hey, church groups. Hey, local visitors. Come see what we got. We're a rural faith-based veterans facility, and that's what I had prior to opening. And then it grew and grew and grew. And I'll look anybody in the eyeball right now and say, you will not be disappointed if you come and visit us and you see what the work we're doing. You can go into our wood shop. You can see people are amazed at many, many things. One of the things that I can say for sure, they're like, wow, this is beautiful when they walk in, and then when they go to the wood shop, they're like, it's so clean. I'm like, well, I'm working with veterans. They make a mess. They want to clean it up. They're not. And so we're very, very proud of the guest experience, if you will, for everybody that visits, whether you're just locally in the area visiting, you're with a group, regardless. I think we try to give the same experience to everybody.
So you had talked about like even local people coming to visit. So the community connection, how does Patriots Landing connect with the local community?
So we have always, in particular, the nonprofit world and even other areas, sometimes, not to be a negative Nelly, sometimes they just they butt heads a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of I think it's more, the way I describe it is, hey, this is, Ken donated $1 to my organization last year. Don't talk to Ken. We want his $1. I mean, that just literally, I think it comes down to donations and this and that. We're just different. We believe that a rising tide raises all ships. We support as many local community functions as we can. I think you're aware of one of the things that we're very, very proud of that we do in the community, and that is the Honor Flag program. Mm-hmm. So right now we have 101 3x5 made in America by Allegiance Flag Company, American flags on 10-foot poles sitting on a trailer in the back of the shop here. And every time a veteran is buried across the street, when you turn onto Ibeck, which is the road that comes back to us, we place 101 flags on both sides of the streets, lining the streets all the way to the cemetery for the families that come in. Most of them haven't even been to the area. They're burying a veteran. They just haven't been down here.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason to come back Ibeck would have been if you lived here, if you're going in the back of the Ark, or
the soccer fields.
Soccer fields,
which I was going to mention. It must have been one of those. You just answered one of my questions, because my son and I were traveling to soccer practice, and it must have been one of those days. And he was the one who actually said, "That's a lot of flags." And it actually like brought a tear to my eye, because it was very moving, and it was just, I was like, what's the event? But it was great. Yeah. And so to know that, it makes that memory even that much more special.
So think about that. This is what happens. And this is what happens in the back with our guys. And, you were going to soccer practice, mm-hmm. and you saw the flags, and you're like, wow, imagine if you're a family coming down to bury a loved one.
Yeah.
And you come around and you have no idea, and you come around the corner and there's 101 flags, and it's always windy up here. You guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of what we do. I use the word powerful. Our products are powerful. Our burial flag cases are powerful. Our 22 flags are powerful. Our passion crosses, our honor flag program. So, and we engage in the community. I don't want to, not mention the fact that that's not us putting them out there all the time. We acquired the flags and we manage the program, but there are 7, I think, different groups, churches, the women's group, the city of Williamstown. They take a week and we rotate. So they'll do it 2 to 2.5, 3 times a summer, because we put them out from like April to October, because then the weather's, if it's raining, we won't put them out. But there are, I think, 7 groups that will take weeks. And if there's 2 or 3, they'll come up, they'll pick up the trail, they'll go put them out, and they'll come back and pick them up. So that's just one example. We like working. We're technically a small business here, even though we're a nonprofit. But I've worked with, it's really the reason we have this building here is because for 16 years, I worked with everybody,
mm-hmm.
not even realizing it. You just get more and more engaged. It's no different than you take a group of veterans or you take a group of teachers. A group of teachers are going to have a lot of shared experiences. They're going to travel to the same conferences or meet with the same people or be in the same groups, or the teacher this, blah, blah, blah. Veterans groups are the same way. So kind of baby step thing. Just over the years, I had no idea. I never really thought about it. I had no idea how many people I actually connected with up until the point we decided to build this. And then I was like, oh, my goodness, I do have a lot of connections.
I think it also helps your personality is pretty friendly and outgoing. Sorry to cut you off.
You were going to say goofy?
No.
Michelle gave you
never.
The dirty eye.
You mentioned 101 flags. And I mean, I come from a family that we had several members in the military as well. But I come from a family that they never talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know much.
Mm-hmm.
What is the significance of the 101?
Have I mentioned how much I love you lately? That is my favorite question. We get it all the time with the buses, 101. Well, the first thing is they're going, is that 101st Airborne? Was your dad in the Airborne? Or blah, blah, blah. And the answer is because that's how many holes we dug. We dug 101 holes.
That is, I love it. Fantastic.
Isn't that brilliant?
It's brilliant.
Yeah. And then I usually slap a dad joke right after that. And then I got him, Katie.
Yeah.
Then the 74-year-old ladies on that bus, they're all mine. They're just loving it.
Yeah. I bet they eat you up.
They love, well, I mean, we have fun. I mean, they're just, God, we meet so many good people from all over the country.
Yeah.
And they're happy to be here. And they're just engaged. Oh my gosh, they love talking to the veterans. and Michelle, I appreciate that and understand that, because my Uncle Bobby that was in Vietnam, he was in the 1-9 Marine Division. They referred to it as the Walking Dead. So the battalions would engage for a certain period of time. Don't quote me exact on this. They engage for a certain period of time. They pull them back and they'd rotate. You just weren't constantly, it's just, you couldn't do it. usually 3 to 4 months, I believe, was the average that they would engage, and they pull back a little, or they might, anyway, his battalion was engaged for like 18 months. A battalion is usually about 1,000 folks. They lost 94% of their battalion to Vietnam. Oh, my goodness. So 6% returned home, and my Uncle Bobby was one of them. He didn't talk about it.
Yeah, my dad was in Vietnam. He just would not discuss it at all.
So the World War II guys came back, and there was no such thing as PTSD or anything. They might have been shell shocked, which means they heard loud noises, whatever that meant. But what I've learned in working with, and we have a number of Vietnam guys now, they'll come in, usually husband and wife. Hey, this is cool, blah, blah. And anybody want to guess which one of them's like, you need to come down here? That'll be the wife. You really need to come down here. Well, so our mission statement, enhancing the lives of veterans and their families. I very much believe that. I say it out loud a lot. The family members suffered most times as much, a lot of times more in a certain capacity. Their loved ones, their sons, their daughters, their husbands, their wives went away and were gone for long periods of times, not to mention the strain on everything that would include in the family, but came back different. I heard a saying once about, the mom, I think it was it doesn't matter, World War II-ish, but sent her boy away, and the boy never came home. But her son came home, but her boy never came home.
Right.
And that always resonates with me, because regardless of when you served, how you served, what you did, you were signing the dotted line to saying, if I need to give my life for this country, I will.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's it. Bottom line, I don't care what you did. My dad spent 3 years in Japan pushing paper around and driving Jeeps around base and did all that stuff. As proud a Marine as ever was. That's the Vietnam folks that are now engaging with our group. I find that they're starting to talk about it. And gosh, if you're listening to this, and we'll just take Vietnam in particular, it doesn't matter if they were in any of the conflicts or not in any of the conflicts, gently try to reassure them it's okay to talk about it, or however you best manage it. If they talk about it, they always feel better. Our Vietnam guys that start opening up about it, it's not all them then. It's you're looking at me, so you can tell I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, but it wasn't me that figured out that getting a group of like-minded veterans who serve the country, who have a certain code and a certain way they talk, and boy, they rib each other. There's a lot of camaraderie going on back there, but it's cathartic. And, it just so happens that they talk about that stuff back there. And guess what? Makes them feel better.
And I just absolutely love that. Like I said, my dad didn't talk about it. He's been gone for 10 years now, but my mom is starting to open up every now and then. She'll say, well, when your dad came back, he wasn't the same, or, it really took a lot for us to get where we were. And, she's not giving me a whole lot of backstory, but she's starting to open up a little bit more about what her experience or her side of everything was.
You know what might be interesting? Suggestion, maybe. This might be an opportunity, Michelle, for you to go to your mom and say, I just did a podcast, Mom, with Patriots Landing and Joe, and he was telling me about, the veterans talking and all this and that, and he made a point that he felt that the families suffered as much or more a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And I'd be curious, this is just me, hey, Mom, it had to be rough, right? Just know that, I would love to hear, how it affected you and all that. And, maybe I can, we can talk through it, and I'm here to support you, Mom. Cause maybe just use me. Joe kind of opened my eyes to the fact that, Mom, you probably went through a whole bunch of stuff too. And if that opens her up, I see, cause your dad, he passed probably too early to really get to a point where he felt like he should talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it just seems like most people Not most people. I would say there's some from that generation that maybe don't see counseling as a not legitimate, but a resource that they would feel comfortable with. But having that connection to other people, families, or comrades, might be a little bit of that, another option that serves the same purpose, but in a different way.
That was a very eloquent way to put that. A lot of them are hard-headed and stubborn, as we all are.
Right.
Right. And there's a narrative. Keep it in, especially the men. We know this.
Of course.
Keep it in. A lot of them saw some not good stuff.
Right.
Some of our veterans in the back have talked about some not good stuff.
Well, I mean, there's going to be trauma in everyone's life, but war is, even just conflict of whatever kind can be so traumatic. And I think the fact that we're finally starting to acknowledge that in our country is such a great stepping stone. And
it's across the board. It's across the board because, I think the number's 3%. 3% of the military, is infantry, carries a weapon on boots on the ground stuff. The rest is support. But it's the way they lived. It was, their mission, the stress involved. And then the military, unfortunately, and the VA, unfortunately, do a horrible job of transitioning. It takes them, I think they said it took them 2 months to onboard somebody and 2 minutes to kick them out. It's regardless of where you were, you deployed, you didn't deploy. There's just always things going on. And just even being there to listen, whatever it is. Yeah. And that's, so if you're out there and we have 2 veterans that drive in from, Milford every day, which is, depending on the lovely traffic in northern Kentucky, could be an hour and a half going home.
Right. Yeah.
They come down 3 times a week. So if you're within that range and you happen to hear this and you want to come down and dip your toe in, is what I always say. Just, we had a Vietnam veteran that exactly the same thing. Came in with his wife, loved it. Oh, pretty busy. Got a to-do list. I'm like, what? Cut the grass? Well, yeah, and his name's Dick Cook. Cookie. We all have nicknames, so he's Cookie. And
it sounds like he became a strong member there.
It took him 8 months, if not a year, in 3 or 4 times. He came down with his wife a time or 2, and then he would come down. Oh, just blah blah blah. Okay. And the last time I said, Cookie, he says, what's his schedule? And I said, Cookie, gosh darn it, dude, you're retired. Okay.
There's only so often
Tuesday. I want to see you Tuesday at 0900 right here. You can bring your lunch if you want. I want you to come meet the guys. I want you to hang out, blah, blah. Guess what? Comes once or twice a week now. Loves it. So we never force the issue. I always say, try it. We've got a pretty good ratio of people come and hang in the back that stick around. That's literally if it's once a week, once a month, every other week, when they have free time. It's fun. It's fun for them. And unique.
Thanks for listening to We Are Grand County, where we bring you the stories, people, and places that make our hometown special. We're here with Joe Montgomery from Patriots Landing, and there's so much more to uncover. So let's dive back into the conversation.
So do you have any maybe heartwarming stories or anything that you'd like to share about people that have visited?
Oh, you're trying to make me cry.
Oh, goodness.
How many? Is this a 17-hour podcast marathon?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I see Katie over there. We're Bluetoothed on the tear ducts this morning. I could tell.
Yeah. Those flags, they got me. I told you.
Well, then let's move to a different flag. I'm already. So these small flags right here that we're looking at, the large ones across the room here, are called 9 flags. We've been making them forever. Sold a whole bunch of them. They're called 9 flags because in the Union, the stars are made with 9mm shell casings. So we are constantly changing things, different products, this and that. We wanted to make a smaller flag. We get feedback. Gosh, I don't know if I have the room for that. If it was a little smaller. So we wanted to make a smaller flag. Well, this smaller flag you're looking at over there, the 9mm shell casings were too big. So the shell casings that fit in that is 22. So we've been making those probably 6 months. Well, a lot of what happens out here now, I used to have to think of everything, and I still have a lot to do. And we could write on a piece of paper all the different things that we could make, and would it be cool if we sat here for an hour and wrote it all down? And I promise you, I would probably have thought of every one of them at some point in time. So one of the guys in the back, it says 22. Wait a minute. We need to make this into a little something special if we're using the 22 shell. And the reason behind that, unfortunately, is the VA did a study a number of years ago, and their estimates were that on average, there are 22 veteran suicides a day. A day.
I can't even process that.
Guess what? Yeah. I won't tell you I had a conversation but he looked me in the eye. He goes, "The flag is so nice, Joe, but you and I both know it's not right." I said, "I know, because they can't track all of them. So unfortunately, now the number fluctuates, but it's probably higher."
Mm-hmm.
But that's the number the VA put on it. So we started making these, and if I could run up and grab one and turn it around, you would see the signature of the veteran that makes it, but you would also see 22 no more. And in the O of no, we have a little crucifix, veteran suicide awareness. So that is our veteran suicide awareness flag.
Wow.
Powerful.
Yeah.
We were making a prototype. We made a prototype. We had to figure every time we make a new product, there's all kind of different challenges. It's not easy just making it. We have to be able to ship it. We got to be able to figure out how to drill all the holes, because everything, of course, is handmade, as you guys know. So we'll rip the wood. We got to put it together. We got to drill all the holes for the Union. Well, we had handwritten 22 no more on the back of the prototype. One of our Gary Kaufman, he was an Air Force veteran. He's the Jungle Cat. He's our shop manager. He's one of the guys that drives an hour each way. It was his idea. So we literally had the prototype made, and we made our first, red, white, and blue. Didn't have anything on the back yet. It had probably been done an hour. And a family walks in from Chicago. Mom and dad, probably mid-40s, 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The boy's just getting out of high school. He wanted to go be a firefighter. He wanted to do forest fires, the whole 9 yards. Most people, when they visit, they stay 45 minutes to an hour. They talk about their veterans, their dads, our veterans. They look, they browse, we chat. That's probably the average stay. I said, well, let's go in the back, at about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes in, I see the mom just kind of starting to break down. And so, okay, well, let's go in the back. I'll show, we'll show you where everything's made in the whole 9 yards. And, okay, so the 2 kids and the dad goes back, and I'm holding the door, and Gary's in the back with him and the guys. And the girl's just standing at our front door looking across at the cemetery, the mom. And I walk up and I said, ma'am, are you going to want to come in? And she was bawling. And she says, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to the car for a minute, blah, blah. So I walked back, and I said to the husband, I said, sir, I said, just so you know, your wife is upset And she went to the car just to be aware. And he goes, yeah, her brother passed away 3 years ago, and they were like this. And he's buried in the cemetery across the street. And we came to go to the cemetery, and she started breaking down and kind of said, not yet. So they came around and came in here. So there's the story. We're in the back, and we're showing us some different things. I'm like, oh, well, look at this. This is a brand new blah, blah, blah. And he turned it around, and he started breaking down. He says, my wife's brother shot himself, committed suicide. And, as he was a veteran. And that's why this is the first time she's coming to see his grave. And I thought, oh my gosh, the timing, all that. So I had the guys sign it all. And I said, sir, I said, this is from me to you. It's a veteran suicide awareness flag. I don't want any money. I said, if you feel this is something your wife would appreciate, having been here, give it to her at the appropriate time, whatever. And he was blown away. And they left, and I got an email a couple weeks later, and we don't have enough Kleenex. He's like, this was, he gave it to the wife. And of course she lost it and just treasured it like no other, thought God put us in this building for a reason at this time. This was the time to go see my brother. And this was a brand new product that we literally hadn't even had one on the wall yet. And that happens a lot. I mean, what happens when the bus tours come in and when people come in just on their own, but the stories start getting told and all that. In particular, the bus tours. I had my son down here, which you guys know. He's now a senior, but he knows this inside and out because I've been doing it ever since he was born. And I usually make him talk if he's here or during a bus tour, and they laughed. And he's like, Dad, you're batting 1,000 still. I said, what are you talking about, buddy? He goes, every bus tour, there's a couple people crying. I said, buddy, that's not because they're sad. Well, they might be a little sad, but it's just the feelings that are being, like the lady whose brother committed suicide and happened to walk in, happened to be here. So I really, really, Katie, like that just teeny tiny, because that so encapsulates. We didn't just raise a couple $100 million and build a facility and have money falling out of our ears and growing something. It's been so organic and everything. And again, my opinion is that God just keeps placing things right in front of me as we need them, or creating these opportunities as we need them. And so it's I always say it's been a blessing.
I'm not the emotional kind, but that one started to get to me a little bit.
I can attest to that. I'm the, certain commercials can get me.
Well, I mean,
but
even
yes,
if
it's
what are the
so
chances?
touching. It's such a great story, because I'm sure you have hundreds of them, because it seems like this is the kind of place that they can truly make a connection and not even realize it, or before, not even intending, like, oh, let's just check it out, and then realize what a connection it
I'm going to hire Katie as a marketing, because
there you go.
I'll keep this one super short. Make the connection. Another story. I'll keep it short. Bus tour comes in. They're usually 74-year-old ladies. They drag their husbands along. There's a girl. She's probably 12 with grandma. Okay. Wow. They were doing a make and take. They make a Patriot cross. The veterans always sign everything, they make it. So when they go back and make a Patriot cross, they put what they want on. It's usually to this, to that, to this. The first group we ever had in, I had an 83-year-old lady come up. She was crying. She turned her cross. I want to just show this. It says, to my Marine, love forever, Betty, or whatever her name was. Well, she had lost her husband 3 weeks before they came. She wasn't going to come on the trip. Her friend said, please come on. She goes, this is why I came, to make this for my hubby. 12-year-old girl. Another bus tour comes in. She makes a cross. Usually people write a little sentence or two or three. Hers is a book. It's the whole back of the cross. And I'm like, honey, let me see that. It says, to my pawpaw. even though I never met you, I want to thank you for Grandma pulls me aside. She writes this whole thing. Thank you for your service. I'm sure you're a wonderful man. I wish I could have met you. Love, Emma. He died the day before she was born.
Oh, goodness.
And Grandma brought her, and she made this
Killing
cross.
me, Joe.
You
are killing me. Oh,
I got 100
You
of them.
got me good. You got me good.
100 of them. And, you know, what you said, Katie, was people make the connection. Everybody, I don't know anybody that doesn't have any military or a third cousin or great grandpa who didn't serve. Anybody. There's some connection somewhere, you know, or they love God, they love country. Either way, it doesn't matter.
I was going to say, even without, you know, some
Amen.
sort of patriotism can be instilled in all of us, I think.
Yes.
And
Well,
Yes,
it's
indeed.
just like one thing we've not talked about that really speaks to me are the banners that you guys
Mhm.
put up in towns. Now, my dad's been hanging on a banner from you guys for a couple of years now. And we all do it, all of us in the family. We purposely drive through the middle of town just so we can see our father. And it's always like, hey, daddy, or love you, daddy. And
she got
like
her
I
son
said,
doing that too.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to interrupt. I was like, you know.
it's like
I
my son,
love
you know,
it.
he's 9.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's been gone, 10 years. So my son has never met him, but this is our connection.
Mhm.
So in the middle of town, hey, grandpa, so, when I got something photography wise going on, something that was, bigger than the other day, big assignment or something coming up. Like I was driving through town one day, I just stopped at the red light and I was like, did you ever think I'd get to this point?
Mhm.
And that's my way of communicating with
How cool is that?
him,
Right? Because
So-
I lost dad, a year ago, November, and mom shortly thereafter. I lost both parents, but dad was sudden. So I never really got to say goodbye.
Yep.
I talk to him all the time.
Yep.
Helps, doesn't it?
So, yes, it does. So I thank you for the banners.
Oh my God. Thank you
Joe,
for honoring
where's-
your father.
Where are those tissues? Did you forget to bring those out? You should have warned us, Joe.
Michelle?
Yeah.
The
It's
banners
hard
are
to
cool.
see. It's hard to see a tear from her, and that's
I saw a little glazing.
that's quite a connection.
Well, that's good. It's okay, Michelle. It's like the veterans who don't want to talk. Let it out every now and then.
Yep. So looking ahead, do you have any events coming up, or what might be your dream for this place 5-10 years down the road?
That's a good question.
I try.
Ironically.
It's funny. Joe and I could just talk all day, and Michelle's like, "We have some things we should cover." She's like, "Yeah."
I need structure.
She puts
How
the
about-
thought into it, Joe. We
about
should follow along.
Coffee with Katie.
And by the way, Michelle has some questions.
Management by Michelle.
Anyway, sorry.
As luck would have it, Michelle, it started probably 10 years ago, before this building was even in my pea brain that I could even do something like this. Is I want to do a large scale veteran weekend or veteran event. I will not bore you with all the details, but another God thing. I had reached out probably 10 years ago to a lady and ran the tourism down in Clarksville, Tennessee. They ran a big 3-day veteran event called Welcome Home. Hey, love this idea. Can I come down and check it all out? I want to do something similar. She was wonderful. Yes, here's our booked rooms. I'll give you the rate. Come on down. I'll show you everything. Didn't make it that year. Something came up. Jake had a golf tournament. Who knows? Try it again the next year. Timing. COVID hit. A couple of years I didn't do it. This was in the works. Colonel Kanuski, who's a good friend of mine, through this program, I told him, I said, dude, we have got to get down there and see this. I want to do something. Never did. And so about 3 months ago, and I lost track of her name is Frances Manzito. Lost track of her. And I had been talking to our local tourism group about for a few years. Hey, just FYI, this is on the back boilerplate. I ran some banquets. Those were great. Good turnout, a lot of support. I want to do something bigger. I get an email from a tour bus company that I had never dealt with out of North Carolina and saying, hey, a little late to the game, but I've heard about your place, the good things about it. We want to bring a tour bus here next month. Is that possible? Of course it is. So I picked up the phone, called her, and I'm looking at the email. It's Frances Manzito. I said, Frances, were you ever in Tennessee? She goes, I was with the tourism in Clarksville. I said, this is Joe Montgomery, thinking, and I'd have to explain myself. She goes, Joe, you're Patriots Landing? I'm like, yes, ma'am, I am. She goes, oh my gosh. So full circle come around. We immediately make the connection. I'd only talked to her on email. I might have talked to her on the phone once. And I said, Frances, whatever happened? That, well, I left, closed down. The chamber wasn't, they kind of didn't support it like I wanted to, and blah, blah. I said, well, I've been thinking about doing something here. And she says, oh, wow, really? And I said, I'm like 2.5 minutes from the Ark. She goes, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
And so we have been planning for about a month and a half. And Michelle, as you know, next week we have a kind of a big unveil, hoorah, this is what we want to do meeting. And so we are planning a 3-day celebration of veterans. It's going to be called A Nation Remembers. I think it's a weekend veteran celebration. It's so new, I can't even remember the daggone name. But it's going to be September 17th through 20th, 2026. And it's going to be throughout the entire Grant County community, probably leaking into northern Kentucky. The last event they did in Clarksville, she said they had 10 to 12,000 people come in. I fully expect that. Well, maybe not year one, but very quickly afterwards. We're billing this as the largest 3-day celebration of veterans in the country.
Wow. That's some lofty goals there. That's bigger than a baby step, I'd say, Joe.
We haven't, well, it's been 10 years.
That's true. Well, that's a good jump.
So as it turns out, my friend, Miss Frances, lovely, lovely Miss Frances, has a lot of contacts, has a lot of the information from when she did it, the different, like we're probably going to get the Vietnam Wall in and a few other things, is on the board of directors for the National Tour Association, who's meeting next week in Lexington. And it's going to be, and so it was like taking my little starter fire thing and dumping
gasoline's on it.
Just in the bus folks that we've even talked to, and we haven't even tried yet, we have 10 to 12 buses committed to coming in.
Yeah.
Times 40 people. Times however many hotel nights that'll be for 3 or 4 days here in the community. And that was her expertise. Tourism is about putting heads in beds, bringing people into the community, staying in the hotels, staying in the VRBOs, spending money here, buying gas, eating food, going to the Ark, coming here. So we'll have thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming in. And of course, I'm not even counting. I mean, I'll have thousands of locals coming in. I mean,
I'll be there.
I know you will be prominently. That's why you were invited to the rah-rah meeting. You're on the short list.
The amazing connection that you all have with the community, but then, like you said, bringing others and really putting, Grant County on the map for this type of event would be fantastic. And something to.
And we have the Ark Encounter here. I mean, come on.
There's multiple.
On any given weekend, they're going to have 6 to 12,000 people from Thursday to Sunday here that will for sure come see it. So, it'll be big. It'll be big. I haven't confirmed a lot of the relationships, but I've had initial conversations, and every one of them says, just give me more details. I'm in. Now the second half of your question is plans for Patriots Landing. We're going to have to leave that up to the good Lord. We are growing. We invite all veterans, all volunteers. We have Miss Goody in the back now. Some of these items on the middle table there that are scroll sawed in the little itty bitty Uncle Sam thingies. Goody came in a little over a year ago. Her husband was in the Army. She buried him across the street. She came across to get a flag case. Crying. Very German. Met her husband in Germany. I think they spent 20 years over there while he served. Moved to America. They did a lot of woodworking. He died rather suddenly. Went to the doctor a month later, gone. Mm-hmm. She says, very German accent. I won't try to. And she says, it's Guddie, and we call her Goody Two Shoes. But Goody Two Shoes is, we did scroll sawing and blah, blah. And I said, well, wait, work with the families. Okay. Well, about every couple, 6, 7, 8 weeks, she'd come see her husband and she'd come over. She'd be crying and, so Goody, come on in, right? Another story, same ending, basically. She rolled in about 2 months ago and she wasn't crying. She said, well, it's been a year. I think I'm ready. Mm-hmm. I'm like, come on. She goes, are you going to be here tomorrow? I said, we will. Down she came. She comes in 2 to 3 times a week. She's back there laughing. She doesn't take any crap from the boys. She throws it right back at them. She's been just such a pleasant addition. So I say that, veterans, their families, we have volunteers that are civilians. It doesn't matter. If you want to engage and you want to get involved for the right reasons, we have an open door policy. So.
Well, that leads me right into my next question, because it was going to be, how can people visit or get involved? So you've mentioned getting involved, and you've mentioned tour buses. So is there a place that they can follow online as to what's going on, to see what kind of events are going on, mm-hmm. or what they can expect, or how to plan a visit?
Mm-hmm. Well, Michelle, you know, I've known each other a long time, and we've had enough conversations. You know my level of social media acumen. I don't know if you want to describe it as what.
Baseline.
It's not good. I'm old. Remember, I'm old. I tried. So we just started working with Luke Thomas is his name. He is an Army veteran, and he started a small business called Pro Tactics, and it's digital marketing. And what I've learned is he has this whole software, this whole thing, like your follow-up when we were going to meet here. Just right. I'm like, wow, that's cool. It's just, he uses, this software also uses AI, which really blows my mind. And he's just coming up with a defined message that is like, did you write that? I literally, after I saw about 4 of them, I'm like, are you using AI? He goes, absolutely.
Yeah. Genius.
He goes, this software understands my voice, literally. Mm-hmm. And I've confirmed that through a few other people now that gets to know your inflections, what means. I'll give you one example. He came up with something that's going to go in that door over there, because I've always wanted to put through these doors, this happens or that happens, or, veterans hang out. I don't know. One of the little things he came about drilling down our message was what happens in our shop. And it was very simple. It was sawdust, service, and purpose. Oh my God, it's brilliant.
It basically takes all of those little things in your brain, Joe, and just kind of puts them into. It's
a lot to put into a little. Yeah, there's a lot bumping around up here. That's why I'm, like squirrel. But so I say that because our Facebook is going to jump up tremendously, and tag for Michelle, no blink pictures, and everything that you're doing. Michelle has said for years, just let me know what you need, when you need it, and then our schedules get busy.
Then so someone just has to retire, and now my schedule's not.
I'm glad you retired. So we are going to take advantage of your offer, as we know, and we're going to start doing interviews with veterans. We're going to get their stories down. We're going to put that out. And I'm super excited about having people smarter than I engaged on how to really send the true message. We've talked for an hour. You get it now. You get it. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. So how do we convey that and get that out to the public? So Facebook, obviously we're Patriots Landing, Kentucky on Facebook. We are the only charity that I'm aware of that is operationally self-supported through the sale of our product. We love donations. My guys in my board have told me I have to say that. We love when people give us money. But
everybody likes that.
I hate asking people for money. I probably shouldn't have started a nonprofit because I hate asking people for money. But we don't get a lot of donations, but they're here. They'll drop some money in the box. But we're so proud of the fact that we create something, the purpose, and we sell it. And it's cool and people love it. I just dropped our prices. What small business with tariffs and everything else has dropped their prices? I just dropped the price of everything in there. I just hung those 2 signs over there. For example, the 9 flags have been $129 forever. They're $99. Had a couple in from Minnesota yesterday. He's like, Joe, I've seen a lot of these flags. I've been wanting to buy one on Etsy and all that. They're $149, $179. I said, yes, sir. They all are.
Yeah.
Ours are $99. And I'll tell you why. We want to sell more, not because I have a second house or a boat. It's because the more product we sell, the more work I have to bring more veterans in the back. So we don't need to make as much on a product. So I dropped the prices in conjunction with this big media push that we're going to be doing, because who hasn't had an uncle or a dad? God, he's got everything. Get another freaking tire, another coffee mug. Okay. In particular, if they're a veteran or if they're a patriot, this is an extremely unique gift signed by the veteran. The flag's cool, right? They're on Etsy. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Cost more, cost less, doesn't matter. Ours are made for supporting a nonprofit and signed by the veteran. So you can find most of those wonderful products on our website, patriotslanding.org. Any contact, email, phone call you make comes to moi. I turn my hat around. I'm the operator. I'm this. We get all kinds of folks reaching out for all kinds of things, and we're grateful for all of it. Some stuff we can do. I'll say right now, if you have a garage or a basement full of great grandpa's old tools, we probably can't use them.
I was about to say,
that's a favorite.
I'm cleaning out my...
Yeah, exactly.
I should have waited till the end.
It's either 1-800-junk removal or let's call a veterans organization. They'll take them.
Yeah.
God bless them. No. So, yeah. And then, of course, we're right here on IBEC. Come on in and see us. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
You need to make some more room on the walls, right? So that's...
Right. Well, you can see.
It's pretty full.
Like those little mini passion crosses, Katie.
Yeah.
There's 2 missing on the wall right now because I got an online order. We ship quite a bit this morning for 2 mini crosses, and we keep inventory in the back. Well, guess what? We're selling them
that quickly
at a pretty good rate that we literally had to come out and pull a couple off the wall this morning, which is a very, very good problem to have.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Pleasure.
I have a whole script to read, and I know I'll mess it up a couple times, so I won't hold you up for that. But we've got
She's reining us in, Joe.
We've got a couple things to kind of read over, but if you'll let us stick around for a little bit longer,
please.
We'll do our part over here to kind of finish up the podcast.
You're always welcome. I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity. I've had a blast. I think you guys are doing great things. I look at this as a lot of work, so I appreciate you guys doing it.
We're learning.
Well,
AI did help me create the script.
I would say some of it's easier than others. We definitely, that technical stuff, she's the expert. I'm the, obviously, we could talk.
We could talk.
We can talk. See?
Well, God bless you all. We're just, what was it, Katie? Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Little itty bitty steps. This is one more step. If we affect one person from this, it was worth it. And that's the way we look at all of this. If we help one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And I definitely think you've done more than one person.
Yeah. You affected us already.
I mean,
I could start on my guys in the back. They need a lot of help. I always go back and say, you guys need a lot of healing.
Yeah. I keep seeing them through the window.
They're like little monkeys back there, aren't they? Like you're in a circus. You can go tap on the window. I do it all the time. They usually wave at me or tell me I'm number one. They love me.
Well, we definitely had a great time, Joe.
Good. Thank you so much.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the story of Patriots Landing. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to We Are Greene County, a Toad Talk Media production, where we celebrate community one voice at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and leave us a review. You can learn more about our work at toadtalkmedia.com. And follow us on social media for future episodes, videos, and stories. Until next time, keep celebrating the people and places that make Greene County home.
toadtalkmedia.com.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the story of Patriots Landing. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to We Are Greene County, a Toad Talk Media production, where we celebrate community one voice at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and leave us a review. You can learn more about our work at toadtalkmedia.com. And follow us on social media for future episodes, videos, and stories. Until next time, keep celebrating the people and places that make Greene County home.